Hello, everybody. Welcome to Best Whole New World. On today's Journey to Awakening, we are on part 4 of Manifesting Your Soul's Desire with beautiful beloved down there in Florida.
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. Yes. Oh my God, the weather is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Can you see this? I'm in my meditation room and it's just so beautiful.
I
So
can
I'm sending
sense the lightness, yes.
I know, I know. I send a bit of paradise to everybody out there from the sunny south. Oh my goodness, Jacqueline, today we talk about one of the biggest, I don't like the word issues, but one of the biggest things, opportunities for people. And this was my biggest. This was my biggest stopping point, doubting point from the very beginning. And that is trust. The big T. You know, yeah, that's it. Woohoo! And not touchdown.
Was a good Super Bowl, but hey.
That's it. That's it. Oh my. You know, when I first started working.
I'm giggling because I can hear the siren in the background. I'm like, you talk about trust, and all of a sudden the siren goes. And to me, that's it. When you want to trust yourself or something like that and go forward, there's a siren going on in the background. Go, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. They didn't get the memo. Okay, let's take a moment. Here's another thing. Whenever I hear a siren, I always just take a moment and stop, come into my heart, and may anyone that siren is for be helped quickly. May they have an easy resolve. May they be at peace. May they be well. And maybe they know they are loved. Yes. That's an important thing. Here we are working with the manifesting process, which is really working with the quantum field. And we're quantum beings. So here we have an opportunity to see how these things work in real time. Because when we say things, when we put things out there, we really give them life. And there have been so many studies done on prayer, how prayer has helped, and they've done double-blind studies. Larry Dossey's done them, where one group was prayed for, however you understand prayer, and the other group wasn't. The people that were receiving blessings had no idea. The people that weren't had no idea. And then they compared them. And the people that were receiving the blessings just did much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of living an awakened life is to know that, hey, we're a quantum being. And if we can step into our heart for just a moment, like every time we hear a siren, what a wonderful trigger that is to remind us of who we are. To remind us that we're spiritual beings and we're here and we came here for a purpose. So I always love hearing sirens. I don't love it for the people, but I know they're getting help. So it's one of those things that happens in everyday life. And that also is a sign of trust. I trust that going into my heart for a moment makes it better for whoever the siren is for.
Well, it's so a lot of people trust things that they've been told, for instance, by their parents or in school, right? Yeah. They trust that what science has said. They're trusting outside sources. In this case, they could be looking at us and saying, do I trust what you're saying? Ultimately, the trust you're actually talking about is trusting the guidance that you're getting, right? And to trust that what you're feeling compelled to do has got a purpose. So if we're sitting here saying to you today, which we both know and believe, that our thoughts are forces. So when we speak good things are rippling out in the world, right? And so we're conscious of what we share because we want to see positivity. We want to see healing. We want to see awakenings everywhere. And so if the question is, what do you actually trust? Is opens like really a door to yourself and your own truth.
It does. It really does. You know, I trusted my own experience from the time I was little. I've always trusted my own experience. But here we're talking about trusting who we are. And for some people that's really, really, really difficult. So when it comes to manifesting, part of that process is trust. Knowing that I'm a powerful creator and I can put things out there and I can create them.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what we're talking about here.
Right, because you trust people. Like we'll put into, I'm just going to give physical examples. So if you're going to plant a seed, a lettuce seed, you're going to trust that it's going to grow into a lettuce, right?
Exactly.
So the same idea is, Beloved and I trust that we plant an idea, that we plant a vision.
Yes.
It is going to manifest into our soul's desire because we trust it. It's what's true for us. Just like the seed that becomes lettuce. And Nancy, if you didn't see Beloved, Nancy, which is hi, she's saying she's so excited. She's getting chills already just listening to us.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Nancy, I'm glad that you're listening. So when it comes to trust, yes, when I first started with Ariel, and Ariel is my main primary guide. Mm-hmm. And Ariel is an archangel. And Ariel is the angel of prosperity, the angel of nature, and the angel of strength. Well, I went through this beautiful meeting Ariel in a workshop. And Ariel came in and I knew the angels were here, the tears were coming down, everything. I was very, very clear that yes, I had consciously connected with the angelic realm. And then we were asked to receive a message. So I received a message from Ariel and I'm writing it down. And they say they're Ariel and I'm writing it down. And they end with end transmission. We are complete. End transmission. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, yeah, right. And you're an angel. Didn't jive with my understanding of what I thought an angel was. End transmission? We are complete. End transmission? No, I didn't trust.
Right.
But then on the way home from this workshop, I was talking and that was when I first really opened up and channeled. And I'm in the car by myself and I'm saying, okay, well, I understand what Timothy said, but that wasn't quite the way I understood it. And Ariel is saying, read the book. I had attended a workshop with Timothy Wiley, Ask Your Angels. And I hadn't read the book, but my beautiful sister Donna gave me a copy. And I had it with me and he signed it, but I hadn't read it yet. Mm-hmm. And Ariel's saying, oh no, Ariel didn't say read the book. Ariel said, that is Michael's truth. And I'm really confused now because I think I'm talking to Ariel and I'm getting that as Michael's truth. So I said it again. Okay, well, here's the thing, Ariel. Um, what I understood Timothy to say wasn't really the way that I thought the angelic world was. And again, I heard that is Michael's truth. And what I'm doing is saying, oh, I got it wrong. I don't know how to do this. I'm wrong. Why did I think that I connected with the angels? I know I'm absolutely wrong. I mean, I'm talking to Ariel. I'm hearing about Michael. I can't do this. I can't do this. That was my go-to position when I first started working with the angels. So I get home and I talk to my sister, Donna, who had given me the book, and we go to the thing together. And I said, this is the craziest thing. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm talking on the way home to Ariel. I'm asking questions, and I keep getting that is Michael's truth. And Donna says, read the book. I said, yeah, I will. I'll read She said, no, read the book. Well, Michael is who Andrew works with. So when I was getting from Ariel, that is Michael's truth, it was Michael's truth. So I'm forever saying, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. And I went through the beginning like that. I thought Ariel was Ariel because little old me couldn't possibly be working with an archangel. I mean, why would an archangel work with me? And it wasn't until I received a birthday gift again from my sister-in-law, Donna. And she handed me my gift. We share a birthday, we exchange gifts, and she hands me my gift, and I open it. And on the outside of this pouch, it says, Ariel. And she's so excited. And she says, I bought this from a catalog. And I haven't seen it for real, but it just felt like you would like it. But I didn't know it was going to say Ariel on the pouch.
Right.
So I look at it and I open it up and it's a watch. And remember when the angels first became really part of mass consciousness? And there was that little Renaissance angel, the one like this.
Right, yeah.
It was on everything. So I open up this pouch. And it's a silver watch. And all of those little angels are all on the band. And there's 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, there's a little diamond and the word Ariel. And I said, oh my God, it says Ariel. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And Donna said, how perfect. I didn't even know that when I ordered it for you. But how perfect, because that's who you work with. And I said, I put everything down. I looked at her and I said, I work with Ariel? And she said, for God's sakes, who do you think you work with? I said, Ariel? Because I couldn't trust. I couldn't trust.
And how many years ago was that, though, beloved?
Oh my God. I don't know, 30 maybe? 35? A
right.
long time ago.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning. And a lot of people are that way. So
but the reason I bring that up is because I want people to know that just because it's 30 years from when beloved didn't trust till now, or for me, this situation is that things are happening much faster now. Much faster. So what took years could be days, and with respect, just think of all the upgrades in software and apps. So you could even be like yesterday didn't trust, today you're going to trust. So just make sure that conversation doesn't get you stopped, that said, oh, it took, blah, 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 so many years.
35 years.
No, I know.
5 years at all. I just wanted to go back to the beginning
of when you were like that, yeah.
When I was like that, right? And trust is the main thing. And once we learn to trust, then we expect. Then we truly expect. And until then, when we're working on manifesting, that's why I say trust. I like to leave trust to the end of the process. Okay, you've had step one, right? We went through step one. What is your heart's purpose? What is your soul desire? And how do you know that? Well, that's got to be the first thing. Moving into your heart and feeling into that. What is something that makes you so joyful? Something that makes your heart sing. And we all have those things. And when it comes to your soul purpose, a nice thing to do is look back to your childhood.
Right.
What was it then that made you just sing? You just wanted to do it all the time. You know, what were you drawn to as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Before you had routines, before you had school, before you had jobs, before. What did you come in with? Soul purpose, right? So then we took a look at, okay, I know what my purpose is. I know what my soul purpose is. I know what my heart's desire is. Now what do I do? Right? So we talked about affirmations that some people like to call setting intentions. And how do you set an intention? Right? So again, setting an intention, putting a statement out there in the now, in the present, and then that becomes your mantra. You know, that becomes your mantra. And the more you tie in and attune yourself to the energies of your mantra, the more it feels your field. And the thing about the law of attraction is like vibration brings like vibration.
Right.
So if I'm vibrating with love, then what's coming in my field? Love. Right? I mean, that's the law of the world. That it just is. If I'm vibrating with doubt, guess what? I'm creating doubt. So we talked about different things you can do, right? Mirror affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Going in the mirror, looking at your beautiful self, smiling, repeating your mantra, then bring it into your whole being, right? Just bring it, know it, feel it, live it, like a dress rehearsal. Just be in there. We talked about vision boards, and I really like vision books because I'm very much a book person.
Right.
You know? But however that is, we talked about creating a dream jar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's so many tools that we've talked about. So then, okay, so now I've done that.
I just want to, sorry, if I would, because when you mentioned about doubt, what came to me, and I just feel I have to spit it out, is that more people believe and trust the past than they trust the seeds they're planting. So the habits of the past, when you say, oh, it didn't work before, or you doubted it, all that stuff, you actually trust that. That's where you've put your trust. And what Beloved and I suggesting is that you trust that. Just try it on. Like pretend you're like clothes shopping. Try this on to say, well, what if I trusted that I'm planting the seeds of my heart's desires? And as I'm planting them and I'm creating that vision and the intentions that she's describing, they're going to manifest into my soul's desire. Do I trust this 4-day this 4-part process. Because that, I guarantee you, if you take the time, you'll convince yourself that that trust in that direction is going to be way more joyful than trusting all your past habits that you've put energy in to prove that have been right before.
Yes. And the more you trust and the more you create, then you'll begin to gather evidence in the world. And then you'll look at that and say, oh, wow, wait a second. That was the thing I wrote down at New Moon. That was the thing I said I was going to have in my life. Oh my gosh, it's here. And you'll have more and more and more of those things. We talked about, remember one of the things we talked about it again. We talked about asking for parking places.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do it through angels, but you can do it through anything. When you know you're going to go someplace and you want a parking place, just say, okay, angels, I'd like a parking place that's close to the door. That's right there. All I have to do is pop out of my chariot and run inside. And you will get a parking place. And if you continue to do that, you'll get another parking place and another parking place and another parking place. Right?
Yeah.
And the evidence will become the past. It will, if it's not happening now, you've just created more things you can trust from your past.
And then that becomes your new thing, that you just get in the car and there's a knowing. It's not a, oh, I'm asking for a parking space. You just know that you're always going to get a great parking space. And it's like literally going from being a caterpillar to a butterfly. Your world changes when you start to trust that the desires of your heart can be manifested. It's just practice. And when you practice, you convince yourself. And when you convince yourself, like, then that's your superpower, right? That's like Bruno Gruning's teaching way back in the 40s and the 50s. That was all he ever said, right? Is don't believe a word I say. Don't believe a word I say. You have a duty to convince yourself. When you convince yourself of the experience of the presence of God, angels, unified field, whatever you want to call it, then you realize who you are, truly who you are, what is this world all about, and that you realize you're manifesting your soul's desires. It's like the other day when you went up to visit your grandchildren and you told me the story about the snow. Tell them.
Tell it?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Okay. So here's the deal. I went back to Asheville. I live both places. And I'm the snow queen. I adore snow. So the day before I was going up and I was going to see my daughter and son-in-law and granddaughters, I was talking to my youngest granddaughter and I said, Hannah, let's call in snow. She said, okay. I said, oh, wait, let's call in a snow day. And that means there's no school. Oh, yeah, okay. So there was no snow predicted. I'm telling you, I watch that weather report all the time. No snow predicted at all. So I'm driving, I'm about an hour outside of Asheville, and my daughter calls, and she says, oh, by the way, they're letting Asheville High out an hour early today because of the snowstorm that's coming in tonight. And I said, of course, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it snowed all night. The girls were home from school the next day. It was a wonderful day of sledding and playtime. And of course,
I like that your son said to you,
yes.
Do you think you called that in, Mom?
That's what he said. So I FaceTimed my son, who's the parent of my youngest, very youngest granddaughter, and I wanted her to see snow. And I told him the story. That's exactly what he said. Mom, do you really think you created the snow? And I said, are you asking if I believe that I created the snowflakes, each one of them different? And he said, before I really could answer, he said, Mom, I would be so much more comfortable if you said, I prayed for snow and God answered my prayer. And I just said, oh, yeah, that works too. Because it doesn't matter how we understand it, right? Is it a prayer? Well, yeah, it's a prayer. I mean, what is a prayer?
Right.
Is it an invocation? Yeah, it's an invocation. Is it a calling in? Yes, it's a wish that has energy behind it, energy and emotions, right? Because a wish or a dream is lovely. Now, let's put something behind it so that it can fly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can come. Semantics, I suppose. But yeah.
That's the gift, that you have that level of trust, right?
Yeah.
You trust and you put your intentions there. So when you're listening to this 4-part series here, right, really get that beloved lives this, I live it, and you can live it too. Just start practicing.
Absolutely. These are skills like any other skill. The more you use them, then the more proficient you become. And I know every one of you out there has called in things. You might not have seen it that way, but how many times have you said, wow, I've not seen John in so long,
Right.
And then who do you meet at the coffee shop the very next day? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
John. We all do it. Yeah, we all do it. So what Jacqueline and I are talking about is doing this consciously,
Yeah.
setting out to do it.
Hmm.
What is a simple process that you can try to consciously create, to consciously manifest the life that you're looking for?
And
And
trust it.
yeah, trust it. Because here's the thing I learned early on. And when I did radio, and I started doing radio call-in talk shows, oh God, I can't tell you how many years ago. And I would talk about these things.
Mm-hmm.
And people would sometimes call in and take me to task because they would want me to prove it. Well, prove these things. Prove they're angels. Prove you can talk to people on the other side. Prove it, prove it, prove
Right.
it. We all know at that moment there was no proof. And we're moving toward that through quantum physics, thank goodness. We're able to prove many things. But all I can say is I cannot deny my own experience. And I'm not trying to convert anyone. I'm not trying to have you, believe my way. But these are tools that I use. This is my experience.
Right.
And so, we offer that to you and just say, try it out. But trust, trust, trust. And the more you have things, creations, come into 3D, come into your life, the more you will trust. I think trust is a natural process, isn't it? And it happens. It just happens because we cannot deny our own experiences.
Right. And then everything changes.
Everything.
And your soul's desires are manifested. And you make more of them. And you make more of them. And you
Yes.
make more of them.
Yes. You make them and make them and make them and make them. And I know so many people do this anyway. I had a really crazy experience the other day. Actually, I'm doing a short video on it. So I was talking to my beau, and I asked him what was on his bucket list.
Huh.
And he looked at me and he said, I don't have a bucket list. I said, you don't have a bucket list? He said, no, I'm not that old. I said, agreed, but what does one have to do with the other? Why don't you have a bucket list? Because you don't think you're that old. And he said, well, a bucket list is for people who are old and think they're going to die, so they write a list of everything they want to do before they kick the bucket. I looked at him like he was nuts. Because it never dawned on me that that's what it is.
Right.
And I've always had one. I've always had one. So I was talking to one of the kids, and she said her teacher told her when she was in kindergarten that they should have a basket. Okay. And in the basket, that's where they should place all their happy thoughts and all their joys. So instead of having a bucket list, she has a basket list. And she fills the basket. And I thought, am I the last one on the planet to understand what this is? So I decided I'm coming up with a new name. It's my dream list or my soul list. But I write them and then I create them. Mm-hmm. The first step is knowing what they are. Setting that intent. When you write it down, when I write it down, I've set the affirmation. I've put it in place. Right. But then again, speaking it. Mm-hmm. Writing it down on your list is wonderful. Then speak it, give it life, give it energy so it flies in the universe and finds its mate, finds its match.
Attention.
Yes, yes. So for those of you that keep bucket lists, things on your list, and you've actually done them, then that's where you can begin to trust them. You know, especially if you've written down things or goals or whatever that you weren't sure would ever happen, but they did.
Yeah. Do you know, on that, I just, when I was in high school, I had said that I was going to work hard for 5 years and then I was going to go out on my own. And at that point, in my mind, I was thinking I was going to become a chartered accountant, right? So in my mind, that was the job. But what ended up happening is I went into marketing and sales. And literally, when I look back, I worked 1 week shy of 5 years. And then I resigned and I left corporate and I've been on my own ever since. And that was it. And I was like, see, so even back then, like, I mean, that's the thing. And you think of some people that have maybe reached, celebrities that they decided, like someone I just saw won a Grammy, I think. And she was saying, wow, she was nervous. She should have known this speech because she's been singing in her shower when she was a kid, right? And so there's that, or I remember a baseball player in the Blue Jays, when I watched him hit his grand slam, he used to play that play when he was a kid. It was the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, pitch comes in, bases. So the bases weren't quite loaded. There were only 2 men on the base, I think, but poof, hits a home run, win the World Series, right? So you play, you put the attention to there, and then one day you discover, wow, this is my life.
That's it. Absolutely. And
so have fun.
Yes, have fun. So another way to look at trust is look back at the things that you have done.
Yeah.
You know, how many of those things did you say? Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to do that. How many of those things were on your vision boards? Yeah. How many of those things were in your dreams? So that's all we're saying here. What we're offering you is a very simple 4-step process that you can use to consciously do that.
And some of those things are going to get planted like right now, and they're going to manifest immediately in the summer. And some are just going to take a longer germination period, right? They may take 20 years to get there because that's how long that period takes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
each seed and each desire, depending on how many other people are involved, sometimes takes a greater amount to work. But as I said, things are happening much faster, so it could be even quicker. But realize that trust also has to do with the time of it unfolding.
That's right. That's right. Everything in divine timing, you know? And we can't control that. You know, we don't control other people
No.
and all the pieces. But we know what we want for ourselves. And that changes too. So that's another thing with trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wrote this down. This is what oh yeah, but you know what? I don't think I want that anymore. Okay, great. What do you want now? Trust that it's okay. Don't continue to go after something that no longer fits and no longer feels good. Yeah, when you check in with yourself, is this still, oh yeah, this still feels real good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, universe. Okay. And of course, last week we talked about surrender, you know, surrendering things. And one of the things that we invited you to do was clear your clutter and watch the energy shift. I mean, just watch that energy shift. And the more you do that, and the more you become aware of energy, the more you'll know when your own field is shifting. The more you'll know. I had this wonderful thing happen. And I was at home one day and I heard very clearly, go down to Park Ave. And I thought, you know, I'm home, I'm relaxed. Why do I want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that there was something there. So I followed that guidance and I got dressed, I showered, got dressed, went down to Park Ave, had no particular thing. I just knew something wonderful was going to happen. So I just let myself be open. I'm walking on the avenue and oh my goodness, a new art gallery opened and they were having an opening. And I walked in and immediately I was served champagne, taken to the chocolate fountain, ran into a very dear friend I hadn't seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
The art was amazing. The hors d'oeuvres were yummy. I ended up going out with my friend afterwards because I trusted.
Yeah.
It wasn't something in my mind. I trusted. Okay, there's going to be something there. So go with it. You know, it's another part of trust. And we've all had that. You know, driving down the road and all of a sudden feeling drawn to take a different way and finding something really yummy. Or finding out that on the road you were going to go, there was a detour and you would have been delayed an hour. So trust. It's a biggie. It's the biggest.
Yeah, it's actually one of the reasons why I run that free 10-day one of trusting your inner guidance, because I just feel like when people get that they have it here, whether it's through the, but when they can trust their connection, however it occurs for them, it just changes your whole life. Absolutely. And you really do see manifesting your soul's desires. Like this is a great 4-part series. So if you're just catching this first one now, you want to go back. This is 4, so you want to go back to 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, go back and catch them on all and try it.
Yes.
See what happens.
And pass it on. We'd love to hear what you created, yes. What has happened for you, what you realized you had to let go of, because sometimes it is, you know, that whole one surrendering. We can't do the whole show again, but it's great with the things that we talked about, surrendering and letting go. And then you do see the energy shifted. Like I remember texted you after, I guess, the next day, and I was teasing because like we had an example about the pen, and I said, yes, the pen that didn't work.
No.
And then that actually led that one little table. Then it was about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, I was just like, okay, the whole house has got to go now. And the girls were like, okay, we've seen Mom get like this, right? We'll just don't touch our rooms. We'll just go shopping now. And it was like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Energy, right? Like, what do you want me to do? And then poof, 90 minutes, I just shifted furniture, clean, blah, 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 blah. It was like done. And when you're in that moment, when you can trust and act, things are fluid. And then they came back and they're like, wow, I like this even better, right? Because it was representative of the shift that has to happen of newness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's beautiful like that. Creating space and allowing all the new things.
It's like, we have so much fun together, beloved. This is why we love this conversation. So after they've watched this 4-part series, where would you like them to find you, to discover you in different ways?
Oh, there's so many different things. One thing, if you are a lady, it would be awesome if you would join us in the High Vibe Goddess Circle.
Goddess Circle, yes.
Yeah, goddesses, my goddesses. We're all about energies in there. And it's very fun, and we do moon celebrations live in there. And we have one coming up next week, which is beautiful. Yes. So we have a moon ceremony coming up, a new one, new moon. It's the only moon in February. So we'd love you to join. That's on Facebook, the High Vibe Goddess Circle, or you can find me online at katebeloved.com. And there's some freebies up there. And we'll do more with manifesting and some other delicious things that you can do to awaken your soul. So,
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here this week, and I look forward to next. And just thanks for being with us, everybody. And make sure you watch 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Manifesting Your Soul's Desires.
Yes,
have a great week.
All 4 of them.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.